Hello friends, welcome back to another Value Vintage Cards video. So in this one I want to not respond to, but more so kind of take the idea and run just a little bit sideways with it. Orlando, who is one of the most generous and kind members of the community, he did a video on the 80s cards, and he kind of did like the biggest rookies of that decade. So fantastic video. I think it's relatively complete. There's not a whole lot to, add or modify to that. He kept it to rookie cards. He went through year by year. I think he pretty much nailed everything, with the exception maybe I would have included Sandberg instead of being like an honorable mention side edition. But it got me thinking. I could do the same video, but it would probably be all the same cards, more or less. So not a whole lot to be revealed there. But it got me thinking of that decade and some of the cool things. So I thought I'd add 10 more players and ways to kind of modify and think about that decade. So one of the things that was big in that decade was obviously errors. So I'm a big Dale Murphy fan. Big Dale Murphy collector. So 89 Upper Deck, the first year they came out, obviously, Griffey was big, and the Nolan Ryan throwing a football was awesome, and some different things. But Dale Murphy, this is a reverse image. So reverse negative card is what they call it. But those are, for being an 89 issue in what we affectionately term junk wax, that was a pretty scarce item. That's not something that I was able to afford as a kid, actually, which is a shame because I was just digging through and legit, that's, 8 or 9 year old Aaron wearing that. So I was a big Murphy fan from way back. So that's it's kind of a fun one to have in the collection finally. I will mention, because I don't think you can actually do any kind of justice to this, I won't get in too close just in case somebody reads this that isn't wanting to see this language, but that's the old face Billy Ripken card, so I'll add that to the mix. That's my second contribution to my 10. The third, I guess technically, is a rookie, but this card is not as sought after because of the rookie status, even though it's an amazing, top 5 left-handed pitcher. This Randy Johnson has the marble red in the back, which I think is actually showing up pretty well there. So on the billboard behind him, I guess because they didn't want to have cigarette ads running, they went ahead and blacked it out. They did all these different modifications. I feel like there's a million variations, and honestly, I think it actually shows up better here than it does maybe from my old eyes in person. But it's not always easy to see which one that is, because they did tinting, they did boxes, they did all these different crazy things to it. But it's cool to find, for me, it's cool to find variations and ways to make things more unique, especially in that decade, because that's the decade I grew up collecting. That's kind of like my wheelhouse of memories. But because there's so many of these cards out there, it's tough to find ones that have, kind of uniqueness or value to it. So to me, 89 Upper Deck and 86 Donruss, and maybe you go 84 Mattingly. Those would be my 3. This 86 Donruss Canseco has to be in the top 3 for the decade, in terms of just buzz and chaos and, front of magazines and all the stuff. So love that was included, but I also enjoy this. It's an 87, so it's not quite as cool for the 86 factor, but to get something that's a little more rare and unique. That was a brand new game when it came out. This was the first edition, I believe. And so when that came out, I think my dad got it for me. Loved this game. These cards, if they're not in great condition, they're actually in pretty good condition for as much as I played with my friends. But it's got different, so single, double, triple, home run, and run. You'd ask the question, if they got it right, they got the hit, otherwise they're out. So really cool game. For the trivia folks, that's just fantastic. Absolutely love it. So neat game. That really does show how much my friends and I valued our cards and anything card-ish, because that was probably played with hundreds of times. Next up, another iconic card, Orlando shared that thing. 89 Upper Deck Griffey. Mine's ungraded, so there's, 20,000,001 apparently, because there's a lot of them graded. But if you don't want to do that, head on out and grab yourself a minor league. He's got several minor league cards. This one's not all that expensive, but it is cool. You get some minor league stats, so this must be an 88 minor league card. But a cool way to get another little bit of Griffey running. Maybe there's less of those. I don't know. I haven't checked the pop reports. Another great one. I think Orlando showed an 86 Topps. So 87 rookie. I like that image. I just thought Bo looked like he was, ready to run for a first down while he's throwing the baseball. He looks like such a beast. But, with Bo, he can get a minor league pickup. Got that from my buddy Joe. So, pretty neat. Playing for the Memphis Chicks. This is the one, actually, I'm going to show the back of that. How crazy is that? It is an all-star card, but it shows his stats through August, because that's when it was issued. It's an all-star card. It's mid-season, right? And then also Bo was in that set. To me, that's, if you want one Bo card, I would actually say 87 Classic Green, with him in a football jersey holding a bat. And then I've shown this before, but No One Knows Bo came out a few years later, 1990. And there's Nolan Ryan holding that Bo Jackson. I think he struck him out a couple times. But that's kind of a fun little sideways way to go. Greg Maddux would have come up, 87. So again, we do everything we can. We find the traded Tiffany version just to make it a little bit more rare, but they're not all that scarce even with this kind of version. So nice bright Tiffany on the back. So I have a couple other Madduxes to throw at you as options. You can go minor league, which I may eventually get that graded just because that does have some value to it. But the minor league 86 shows his 85 Peoria stats on the back. Or, I guess this is still technically 87, but that's a tough one. The Venezuelan sticker. So, and it's a sticker, so the back is just sticker back. Nothing fun there, but yeah, tough card. Very, very tough. Not a lot of those floating around, especially compared to, even the Topps traded Tiffany. Another one that was shown was, of course, Wade Boggs. So, get the whole run of Wade, no problem there. But a fun variation would be your 81 TCMA Wade Boggs. So, a couple years prior, minor league version. So, that's a fun variation. Gwen also has one. I don't have it. It's big dollars. His is really, really tough. Next up, showed Cal. Obviously, he has the Donruss Fleer and traditional Topps. The Topps traded is definitely tougher, so I also wanted to score that. Plus, he's by himself instead of the Topps where he's shown with everyone, the three. A couple other options for Cal. So this is the 82 All-Star insert. So All-Star Game Program insert hand cut. Good Lord. Talk about a description. It's graded a 5. Who cares? It's hand cut. It's a little insert thing. So looks good to me. But that's a 1982. And then also scored a 1981. So there's one other Ripken minor league card that's ginormous. That's, luxury car priced. But this thing's not cheap, but not craziness either. So really, really like this one. Got it in a 9. I'm actually kind of surprised I got it as a 9. Probably just couldn't find one lower grade. 1980 stats on the back. It's an official minor league card. And then I've got one more. Actually, I just had a mail day. Let me grab that. All right, so I had to snag the extra one from mail day. Your add-on, your like honorable mention, I guess, was Sandberg. For me, as a second baseman growing up right outside Chicago, Sandberg was a big deal. So he was definitely not honorable mention in my world. He's definitely like inner circle. All right, maybe he's not, but in Chicago he sure was. So what I thought I would do, instead of just showing, Topps, Fleer, Donruss, all that stuff, is show you some different variations. So O-Pee-Chee, which actually that's a pretty nice one. Or if you want to make it interesting, I actually have the full set of 3, Fleer, Donruss, and Topps, all autographed now. So I'll share that at a different time, but not impossible to get those autographed. They're not super expensive either still. Or, here's 2 really fun ones. 1982, so a pre-rookie, if you will. And this one's autographed too, which is even better. And I used to work at Red Lobster. So that's really neat. 1982 Red Lobster Cubs. I think that's awesome. Looks like he's playing third base there, which is where he came up. On the back. Look how cool that is. I absolutely love that. I was thrilled to learn this existed and then to score one. And the autograph version of it just makes it that much more kind of different and unique. This next one, I believe, is 1981. And that would be a Venezuelan issue. Ryne Sandberg. So, of the items I showed today, this is the biggest. And again, I would consider myself to be a bit of a Sandberg collector of that era. That's probably my guy. So, Chicago second baseman, it's hard to not be a big fan of Sandberg. So, that's it. That's my 10. The one I grabbed from mail day is a bonus. It's not one you showed, because he does not have a baseball rookie in the 80s. But he does have a rookie in the 80s. And he has a pre-rookie in baseball in the 80s. And if you know who that is, cool. But when I've seen that along the way, I was like, that is so stinking neat. John Elway minor league baseball card. So this one is rougher. Little ding corners. I think there's a little bit of a wrinkle on it, which made it somewhat affordable. It's a pretty expensive card. Obviously, I believe it's his only baseball card. At least that's like legit. There's remakes and different things, but I just thought the chance to pick up an Elway baseball card was awful gosh darn neat. So that's my additions, my little sideways input. Orlando, fantastic work as always, sharing some knowledge, whether it's 1880s or 1980s. Absolutely love the video. I thought it was complete. There's nothing to add, so I went sideways and threw in a few more things. But I will share the link to Orlando's video in the description here. So if anyone has not seen that, please click over and watch his recap and summary. And I will catch you all on the next video. Thanks. See ya.